folks, we are doing the miscellaneous exercise of chapter 1 and this is our part 5 video. Here we are taking up probably the question number 8 and 9. It's all about proving. They have given us to prove certain things and we have got to use set theoretic concepts and prove this. That is what we are going to take up in this exercise. In this question, in this part. Now question number 8, they ask us to prove these two statements. A equal to A intersection B union A minus B, and second subpart they ask us to show A union B minus A equal to A union B. Let's take part by part and see how the working comes. Let's take this first part, and in the first part let's consider the other side. Consider A intersection B union A minus B. See, I had told you even in the previous question that in the case of difference of a set, we try to adopt those definitions which are going to be useful to us. In the previous definition, in the previous question, we had taken up x belongs to, when it was C minus B, we took x belongs to C, x does not belong to B that way. So here we will take yet another definition of A minus B. The A minus B in practice can also be called as A intersection B complement. You can call it like that. Both ways it's correct. By set theoretic ideas it's correct. So therefore, instead of calling A minus B, for our convenience we call it as A intersection B complement. Its idea is one and the same. Now what is the advantage? When we have it like this, we will see that A intersection is common in both the cases. Like how we used to do distributivity. Same distributive property we have it here, so we can use our distributive law. What happens? A intersection is common, so we take it out. The uncommon terms will remain inside the bracket and the uncommon terms are B union B complement. We have learnt our laws and we know that B union B complement is a universal set. We've been learning that. So automatically this becomes the universal set. B union B complement is a universal set. A intersection with universal set. A is a smaller set, universal set is a bigger set. Intersection will always give you smaller set as the answer. So therefore this will come up as A. It's only that much. And that's how we have proved this idea. So the whole victory of this problem lies in this definition. If you get the definition right, everything is very easy. I have not reasoned it over here, but I hope you have understood. Here it is distributive property and here it is a universal law. B union B complement equal to universal set. That is our part 1. Now let's go to the part 2. In the part 2 also, let's take this part and we can start. Let's consider A union B minus A. Same definition. Let's call B minus A as B intersection A complement. Okay, for our convenience, we have taken up this as a definition. Now what happens? Again, we have to apply distributive law. We can apply it. A distributes over B and A intersection A complement. So what will come? It comes to A union B in the first bracket and in the second bracket it comes to A union A complement. What we have done? We have applied distributive property. So you have got it this way. Now what happens? We know that A union A complement, like what we did there, is a universal set. So we will apply that A union B intersection the universal set. That is what we are getting over here. Now A union B is definitely a smaller set as compared to the universal set. And whenever a smaller set gets intersected with the universal set, automatically the smaller set is what results. So that way, this will come to A union B. Again, it's a property, set theoretic properties, that's how the property works up. So it will come to A union B. So we started from there, we have reached to A union B. That is how that's how we prove that these two results are correct, and this is how the proof is. Okay, now quickly we move to the 9th question. There also they are asking us to show that the using properties of set, show that. That's a question. Using properties of set, show that. And this is very, very, very important. Why? Because we have used it in the earlier questions and it's very useful even in our future problems. Whenever we take up problems, there we use this by and large at many places. So this property we will try to show A union A intersection B to be equal to A. We need to show that. For that also we can start with this side and gradually show that it becomes equal to A. So let's consider this. Consider maybe A union A intersection B. Now this particular statement, there is no harm if I write this as, instead of this A, there is is no harm if we write it as A intersection universal set. Now as we did there, this is the most victorious step. If you are able to follow this step, all of the steps are going to be easy. What we do is, instead of writing A as A, we write it as A intersection with universal set. It is one and the same. The idea is the same, but this helps you to do the further work. So instead of writing A, we are replacing A by A intersection universal set. What happens now? After having done that, if you look at both these brackets, we are going to get this A intersection common. So our distributive property comes into being and distributive law comes into being, and you can take A intersection as common. Once A intersection comes out, the uncommon terms are universal set union the set B. Universal set union the set B. Now we all know that universal set is a huge set, so it will automatically dominate over the set B, and in the union only U will remain. So therefore this will be A intersection the universal set. So that is what is remaining. And we have been learning from all these examples that whenever you have a set and whenever you have a universal set, if there is an intersection, what remains is a smaller set. So A intersection U, what stays back is a smaller set. So like that, you get this equal to A. And that is what is asked to be proved. That's how we have proved it. So the victory of this problem is in this step. If you are able to get this step, everything else is quite simple. Now we go, it's on the same lines. The next part, A intersection A union B. Like before, we will consider this part. Consider A intersection A union B. Like before, again there is this crucial step. If you get this first step, your work is done. So again, A, because it's a union here, it should prompt you that you have to take, instead of A union phi. This is also our property that we have learnt, that there's no harm in calling A as A union phi. A union phi is A. We have learnt that property. So here, because see, we use we see what is being used there. Where union is used, try to bring the property of union. When intersection is used, try to bring the property of intersection. So what we have done, we have replaced A by this. Now what happens? Because A union is common in both the cases, we take it quickly as common. So we are left with phi intersection B. We have used a distributive property. So what happens? Now phi intersection with B, we know that whenever there is an intersection of a bigger set with a smaller set, the smaller set is what stays back. So that way it is the empty set which stays back, null set. So what will happen? You get A union empty set or the null set. And A union, because A is a bigger set as compared to the null set, the end result is going to be A. That is how we have proved that result. A intersection A union B equal to A. That is about the question number 8 and 9. The remaining questions we are taking it up in the next part. Thank you.